I'm trying to think of a delicate way to say a man can't get an erection, and I can't think of one. So a guy can't get an erection. Goes to the doctor and see what he can do about it. Doctor says, look, don't worry about this, really. There's a number of things we can do. There's pills, there's ulcers, but there are 3 operations that I really strongly recommend. For $5,000, you can have sex once a week. For $10,000, you can have an operation that'll let you have sex twice a week. For $25,000, unlimited sex whenever you want. Go home, talk it over with your wife, see what you think, come back, let me know what you want to do. Okay, fine. A week later, the guy comes back, and the doctor says, so what have you decided? He says, we're going to remodel the kitchen.
Give me a pound and a half of that white meat there.
Well, you mean the ham?
Did I ask you what it was?
He says, lady, if I had turkey, you'd have chicken.
Yeah. Now that's funny.
Yeah, I can tell you a joke, anything you want, any subject you name it, I can tell you.
Could you make a joke about dying?
Yeah.
Death?
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Dying in death?
Yeah.
Not a problem. So this lady calls up the newspaper. She wants to put an obituary in for her husband. She calls up, she says, I want to make an obituary for my husband. My husband died. She says, what do you want to say? She says, lady, I want to say, she says, Sam Cohen died. He says, you want to say anything else? He says, no, that's it, he died. She says, well, you want to flesh it out a little bit, so to speak, you know, it's say a little bit more? She says, what to say? He died. He said, it's the same price. You can go up to 6 words with the same thing. She says, not extra money? She says, no. She says, all right, so say, Sam Cohen died, Buick for sale.
There's these golfing buddies, right? Okay, they go out and they like to impress each other, right? So one week they go out and this guy puts a brand new golf ball down. Everybody looks at it. Oh, that's an interesting looking golf ball. What's that on the side of the ball? Well, that's a little red light there. You know, if it goes in the rough, light beeps, goes on and off and everything, you can find it. Yeah, ooh. What's on the other side of that? That's a little antenna. It emits a sound. Meep, meep. Wow. And underneath, look at that. What's that? Oh, that's like little pontoons. If it goes in the water, it floats down. Wow. That's amazing. Where did you get a ball like that? I found it.
Okay. Here's one. Golfer. Dreadful golfer. Played all his life. Shoots to like, finally broke 90, but for the first 9 holes. I mean, he's so depressed. Can't stand it anymore. He says, this is it. I am done. I am not golfing, but I'm done. I can't stand it. He goes into the washroom of the clubhouse, goes through his bag, he pulls out a razor, just and he's bleeding into the sink. And this is it. He hears from the other room from the clubhouse. Hey, Eddie, we're taking up a foursome tomorrow morning. You want to go? What time?
Cut.
So what are you having, a party or something?
Cut.
You must be having a lot of...
Cut.
Lady, how much do you want?
The next 2 slices.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Go ahead.
Very, very famous scientist dies. Goes to heaven, meets God at the gate. God says, welcome. He said, you know, it's nice to be here. But he said, you know, God, he said, I've been meaning to talk to you. God says, really? He says, yeah. He says, I don't know if you've been paying attention lately. He said, but we don't really need you anymore. God says, you don't need me anymore. He said, actually, he said, you know that we can, in fact, create life on Earth. We clone. We can do all of those things now. I said, you're superfluous. God said, really? He said, yeah, absolutely. I said, well, do you want to have a little competition? Scientist says, you're on. It's okay. He says, I'll go first. You don't mind? So go ahead. God bends down, scoops up a handful of earth, creates a human being. God says, you're on. The scientist says, all right. Bends down, scoops up a handful of earth. God goes, get your own dirt.
I just remembered this joke. It's this guy from Toronto. He's like on the beach, you know, in the Caribbean. And he's walking along the beach. He's like a snowbird, you know. He's really white and everything. And he kicks something in the sand, and he picks it up. You know, it's a shiny object. It's a lamp. And he rubs the lamp, and a genie pops out. He says, oh, this is amazing. And the genie says, you know, you set me free from 100 years of captivity. You can have 2 wishes. He says, 2 wishes? Oh, that's fabulous. You know, for my first wish, perhaps I could get a bottle of whiskey that never runs out. An endless bottle of whiskey. Boom, there's a bottle of whiskey in a glass. He pours, he drinks. It fills up again. He pours, he drinks. It fills up again. He's drinking. It's fabulous. So the genie says, and what will you have for your second wish? He says, I'd like another bottle like this.
Okay, we're
You know any Scottish jokes?
I know a Scottish
Tell us
joke.
a
That's
good
all I know is Scottish jokes, okay? Way up in Aberdeen, Scotland, you see. I walk into a bar, pub, and there's Jimmy there having a drink. And Jimmy, I can hear him saying, "Spit it out, you wee buggers. Spit it out. Spit it out." And I said to the wife, what's with him? Oh, you know, Harry Christ. There's a fly got in his drink, and he's making it spit out, spit out, spit out.
So you got to picture the scene. It's the old folks' home, right? So there's this guy sitting opposite this woman, and he says to the woman, he says, "I'll bet," she says, "you couldn't told me how old I am." She says, "I'll bet you I could." He says, "I'll bet you couldn't." He says, "I'll bet you I could." He says, "Go ahead." So she reaches underneath the table, she grabs hold, she unzips his fly, and she takes a hold, a squeeze, a little top, he zips up the fly. She says, "You're 87. He says, "How did you know that?" She says, "You told me yesterday."
Okay, so there's this little tailor, Moishe. He's been in the tailor business for about 60 years, okay? Right across the road from his shop is a church. Anyway, one day he waves to Father O'Malley every time he goes by. One day, all of a sudden, Father O'Malley opens up the confessional on the other side. He sees Moishe. And Moishe says, "I have something that I have to say. Last night, I had sex with the most incredible 22-year-old woman you've ever seen in your life." Well, Father O'Malley says, "Why are you telling me?" "I'm telling everybody."
So this guy is lying on a beach chair in Miami, and he gets a phone call. It's his partner in Chicago. He says, "Sam," he says, "you won't believe what happened last night." He said, "I came in this morning, the safe was wide open, there's $40,000 missing." He said, "Should I call the insurance company?" He says, "Harry, put it back."
All right, guy for his birthday gets a parrot, and it can talk. I mean, it's a great parrot. The problem is, it's profane. In great creative ways, but it's profane. He can't take it in. People come in the house. It's horribly embarrassing. It's just awful. And he's getting more and more upset about it. He takes it to a pet psychiatrist. Nothing. Plays soft music. He takes it out. He says he loves it. He does everything. Nothing. Just a nightmare. One day he just can't stand it anymore, and he's like, "Shut up! Just shut up! So opens the freezer, puts the bird in, slams the door, walks away. So, well, I guess. And suddenly hears this, and silence. He thinks, what have I done? I'm an idiot. What have I put this bird? Whips over to the refrigerator, opens up the freezer compartment. The bird is out in a shot on his arm. Says, "Bob, I'm terribly sorry for all the profanity earlier. I seem to have completely overreacted to the situation. May I remind you it'll never happen again. I apologize. By the way, what did the chicken do?"
Say, son, what you eating?
This?
Yeah.
This is matzo ball soup.
Matzo ball soup?
Yeah. You mean you've never had matzo ball soup?
No.
Just a second. Waiter,
Yes, sir?
would you bring this man a bowl of matzo ball soup, please?
Yes, sir.
You sure I'm gonna like it?
There are, sir.
Thank you. Dang, that's good. Say, what other parts of the matzo do you eat?